Don't let them pull you back. Why people from your past show up when you start winning. They'll come back. They have no shame. I don't understand it. I've seen it not only in my life, but I've seen it time and time again. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Scurv podcast. I'm your host, LANCESCURV. I just want to chit chat with you about a thought that I had that came to me from a few recent happenings in my life and also in the lives of some of my close friends who are doing very well. And it always seems as though, like magic, people who may have dismissed you or wrote you off, when you really start doing good, here they come, like nothing ever happened. And it wasn't your fault. It's just that you leveled up, you got better, and they fell off like a useless husk. But why are they coming back? See, it's because of your growth. Growth changes your life quietly at first. You wake up different. You move different. You stop explaining yourself. And without announcing it, your energy shifts. That shift doesn't go unnoticed. Believe me, even if you don't post it online, even if you don't talk about it, people from your past will feel it. That's when it happens. Exes, old friends, and people you haven't heard from in years suddenly start reappearing. It feels random at first, but it's not. It happens when you start doing better, thinking clearer, and moving forward without them. They sense the change because they remember the version of you that stayed small. That's very important to remember. That version of you that didn't really not take a risk, but just didn't have the inertia to do better or to climb higher. Maybe it was at a slower pace. Maybe you always had it in your heart to do better, but now, without them around you, they left you alone. Now you're doing better. So what are they coming back for? These people don't come back to celebrate your growth. They come back to reconnect with you the way you used to be. The old you was familiar, predictable, and easy to influence. The new you threatens the roles they were comfortable playing in your life. But more so, you're thinking for yourself. You're plotting your own course, and you've made it happen. Growth makes people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from your confusion, self-doubt, and lack of direction. When you start choosing peace, discipline, and purpose, it exposes who was never meant to walk with you into the next phase. This is not about coincidence. This is about timing, energy, and boundaries. And if you don't understand what's happening, you can end up undoing everything you worked so hard to build. And we don't want that. When people from your past resurface, it often starts small. A casual message, a memory, a joke about how you used to be. It sounds harmless, but it's not. The goal is familiarity. The goal is to pull you back into a version of yourself that no longer exists. They remind you of old habits, old mistakes, and old identities, not to help you grow, but to keep you stuck. They want to anchor you emotionally to a time when you were easier to manage, easier to predict, and easier to pull down. These people don't see who you are becoming. They only see who you were when they last had access to you. And when that access disappeared, so did their sense of control. Sometimes they act supportive. Sometimes they act concerned. Sometimes they accuse you of changing. But underneath it all is the same message. Why aren't you the same anymore? The truth is, you were never meant to stay the same. But they missed the memo. The old version of you made others comfortable. That version didn't require accountability. That version didn't challenge patterns. That version stayed emotionally available even when it was draining. When you grow, you disrupt the balance. You stop over-explaining. You stop rescuing. You stop tolerating disrespect. And that creates resistance. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries will always resent your growth. They will say you're acting different, selfish, or distant. What they really mean is that you are no longer accessible in the way they enjoyed. You hear that? In the way they enjoyed. They may try guilt. They may try nostalgia. They may try to convince you that changing was unnecessary. But growth always looks unnecessary to people who never planned on growing themselves. Remember that. Peace attracts attention, especially from people who live in chaos. When you finally create stability, clarity, and emotional control, it really stands out. And not everyone celebrates that. Some people don't want you healed. They want you familiar. They want you reactive, emotional, and unsure. Because that version of you made them feel needed, superior, or relevant. Disrupting your peace doesn't always look aggressive. Sometimes it looks like reopening old wounds. Sometimes it looks like reminding you of who you used to be. Sometimes it looks like questioning your choices until you start questioning yourself. But peace is fragile when it's new, and people will test it to see if you're serious about protecting it. Growth requires consistency, especially when tested. You must know why you started, because once you begin changing, life will test your commitment. Those tests come through people, emotions, and situations designed to see if you will retreat. Will you fall back into old habits? Will you reopen doors that cost you your peace the first time? Persistence is choosing your future over familiarity. It's understanding that discomfort is part of growth. And it's trusting that what you're building matters more than who you're leaving behind. The moment you forget your purpose is the moment old energy regains power. Remembering your why keeps you grounded when distractions show up disguised as reconnections. Nobody can pull you back unless you allow it. Nobody can disrupt your peace without your permission. That's the part most people avoid accepting. Growth means taking responsibility for access. You choose who gets your time, your energy, and your attention. And once you understand that, you stop blaming others for pulling you down. People can and will try you. They will test you. But consent is the final gate. If you don't open it, nothing gets through. The new life you want demands stronger boundaries, and boundaries are not punishments. They are protections for the version of you that worked hard to get here. Outgrowing people is part of growth, not a betrayal. It's a sign that you listened to yourself and chose evolution over comfort. When people from your past resurface, don't panic. Observe. Ask yourself what version of you they're trying to reconnect with. You don't owe anyone access to your future just because they had access to your past. That chapter closed for a reason. Stay persistent, stay grounded, protect what you've built. Growth requires distance from what once drained you. And remember, nothing can pull you backward unless you give it permission. I'm going to say it again. Nothing can pull you backward unless you give it permission. Many people will say it's similar to the whole crabs in the barrel syndrome. You're on your way out of the barrel, and here comes somebody to pull you back down. And it's not that you're in an actual barrel. The barrel you were in was the barrel of your old self that made other people feel comfortable. We can see it every day, sometimes without actually seeing it. Let's just take an example. You have a guy who has been an alcoholic for a very long time, and his life was pulled down into a place of non-productivity and stagnation. And he ends up losing his job, losing his marriage. He ends up living with his elderly mother. And after a while, she can't take it. So she doesn't throw him out. She forces him to live in a detached garage. I've seen this at least 3 or 4 times. I've seen how things degrade. And it doesn't just have to be alcohol. I just chose that for an example because I already know several examples of this well. It could be drugs. It could be womanizing. It could be anything. And we'll get to that part. But now he's in a garage. He gets up. He already realizes that he can't sink any lower. So he ends up not just going to the liquor store to pick up some liquor from the pennies that he begs for, but he ends up staying out there. Why leave? Now, no matter where you live, and I'm focusing on America, there's always that liquor store in the hood where you see 5, 10, even more people congregating, grown men. And you can tell that they're alcoholic. You can tell that they're not doing so well. They're standing around, laughing, talking, asking for nickels and dimes. And they seem to be happy because misery loves company. And so now as that gentleman who lives in the garage goes to the liquor store, he gets his liquor and he sees others who are kindred spirits in their addiction. So he doesn't feel any pressure from those guys because they're into the same thing that he does. So they're smiling, they're laughing, they seem joyous without a problem in the world. There's no pressure for him to get a job because no one else out there has a job. There's no pressure to even wash every day because many of those fellas don't even think about that because their prime goal is getting the next shot of liquor. But one day, he sees someone who had the same issue, who cleaned themselves up. And they started talking. And it really encouraged him out of that dark place Not just in that one conversation, but several times he saw this individual who was out there with him drinking, and he's doing well. He's working, he's earning, he has his own place. He has a spouse now, and they might be expecting some children along the way. And from where that gentleman stands, it feels as though that's such a faraway place. But because that individual stopped to talk to him to encourage him, it planted a seed of hope and a seed in him that made him feel that he has a chance to get out of that dark place. But see, most of the time, when you come out of that dark place, which that particular gentleman did, that I know personally, the others who you left behind at the liquor store symbolically, it may not be liquor for you, it may be something else, right? But those who he left behind at the liquor store, they're not gonna feel too good to see him not showing up as much, and after a while, not at all. They don't feel too good seeing him with a little extra weight on him and some new clothes, and he found some work, some menial work. He didn't just get invited into corporate America and have a big position with a big office. No, he's doing little jobs around the neighborhood, but he has hope. And he's moving up. He's cleaned up. He lives with purpose. So now his work situation got better. And he's cleaned up. So now these guys, when they see him, because see, he doesn't go back to that liquor store anymore. That's his old nemesis, and he doesn't live that way anymore. So now they come around. They come around to the old garage that he was living in, because they knew. And the mother says he hasn't been here in 6 months. He has his own place. And they desperately try to get it out of her. And after a while, she gives in and tells them where he lives. Well, it was a bunch of them out there, but they didn't really care all the way. But they made a mental note out of it. And two of them one day said, well, hey, we're in this neighborhood now. They're taking a walk somewhere. We're living close to where old Rudy lives. Let's pay him a visit. And so they show up at his front door, and he opens the door. They smell good food. They hear music playing, and it just a spirit of cleanliness and peace. And so these guys try to come with the old jokes. They try to come with things that he said when he was acting a fool, when he was drunk out there. They try to remind him of how sometimes he didn't even have the strength to go home to his garage, his mother's garage. How he would sleep out there on the sidewalk or that old, wet, musty couch. And as a side note, who brings that couch to the liquor store outside next to that lot and sits it there? I never understood that. And no matter how dirty or how wet it is, somebody's gonna park up on there and either sleep or sit down there. That's how low a person can fall. Well, anyway, he engaged him temporarily, but he did not bring himself down to the level of where he was. He exuded a new spirit. He exuded confidence. He was shining bright. And so the words got lean. Those two gentlemen, they just cut the conversation and moved on. Not violent, with a slight attitude that they couldn't pull him back down into that mindset. They asked him, hey, you got something to drink in there? I know you do. And when he said that he hasn't consumed any alcohol in a very, very long time, they tried to pull his leg. Come on, man. It's me you're talking to. You know how we used to get down. See, if you weren't doing so good, these people wouldn't find you. If you stayed the same old way, they wouldn't care. But when they see that you are on a new level and you're consistently and permanently there, and determined to stay there, that shines a light back on them. A light that reminds them how low they fell. And I'm here to tell you, no matter how low you fall, you can always go up. See, you can hit rock bottom to the point where it takes you out of here. But if you're alive, you have a shot. No matter how grim and no matter how dim things look, you have a shot. And this also goes to the situation where people leave you for dead. They write you off. They see the light, or they saw the light inside of you and didn't like it. So they subtly took their time to infiltrate your life and get you into a position, either through convincing you of something to do or a move or whatever it may be, so you can stumble and fall. They want to take you into deep waters because your light bothers them, because it makes them know who they are. And trust me, they know who they are. They know the darkness that they carry in their heart, and they resent it. So these people, after they feel they defeated you, and the last chapter of your book has been written, and I don't mean last chapter like you're dead, no, but you're going to produce nothing more of the brilliance that you produced before. You're not going to ascend and unearth those other talents that they know that you have, because you're too beat down that you can hardly walk. And maybe for a time you walked with your head down. Maybe for a time it was hard to get up out of the bed in the morning time, because why? It's just another day of being a loser. But you never were that. Even if it gets that bad where you have that in your mind, you're going to be agitated. You're going to be chastised, because you know you can do better, because you have the seeds of greatness inside of you. So as you rise up slowly but surely, those who wrote you off may even ridicule you, maybe not in your face, but amongst themselves. Look at him trying to do this, and look at him, his best days are gone. He doesn't have it in him. This is why the movie Rocky touched so many minds and spirits, because we have an underdog here who didn't rise to the heights and fell down. He never did anything with his life as a fighter at all. And now he gets a big shot and gives good accountability for his determination. And then he got another shot, and then he won. You can do that. I know, because I have done this personally before, and I'm in the process of currently winning right now. And I see how it plays out. So I don't want anybody listening to this to be discouraged. Now, if you have a dark heart, I can't help you. I don't get down like that. But your light is an insult to those with darkness in their hearts, and they will come back around again to try to befriend you, as though you are going to forget how they turned on you, betrayed you, and wrote you off for dead. Don't let that happen. Don't give them permission. Don't even acknowledge these individuals. I'm not saying to be rude, but your shining and your growing and your upswing and your ascension and your positive momentum is killing them. It's killing them. You might be a guy, I'm speaking to the fellas now, the other one was overall. You might be a guy who had a way with the ladies, had no problem connecting with ladies and having the physical fun with them. It may have seemed at one point that you were addicted to this type of activity, which is hard to refuse. But the bottom line is that you've gone above that now. You understand that extra notches on your belt from the conquest that you've had on an erotic level doesn't do anything for you. You're spinning your wheels and wasting your youth. But now you come to a point where you're making a massive comeback in your manhood, in your focus, in your direction, in your drive, and manifesting the things that you were put here to do. See, it's like the movie Scarface. When Scarface said, "Men have balls. Men have balls, and I don't take any orders from the next man." There's truth to that, meaning that your testicles produce testosterone, which gives you the drive to accomplish. But we can take that drive and that mentality and drive and use it on carnal things that don't benefit us in the long run. Oh, sure, it feels good. I've been there. Oh man, the things you can do, the things you feel, but the clock is ticking, moving on. And when you look back, you say, what did it do for me? What do I have? Yeah, all of those entities are gone. They're with other people. They're not even thinking about you, right? It didn't add up to anything. So now when you find yourself riding the wave of positivity in your life, guess what? Here they come. Hey man, remember that time you was dealing with them two women at the same time? Didn't you used to throw them parties? Oh man, you were the man. And that was then, this is me now. They will even try to reconnect you or connect you with what you used to indulge in. They'll be so nice, and I'm saying that sarcastically. It's not nice. They're trying to pull you back down. Whatever it may be, you might have defeated crack, and you were known as being one of the worst crackheads out there. And I hate to say that word, but I'm not going to explain that phenomenon in 2 paragraphs. We know what it is. You're still a human being. You still deserve love. You were still somebody's child. And things happen along the way. But then you can come up out of anything when your mind is right, when you see the goal, when you not only believe in yourself, but you know you have the seeds of greatness inside of you and all the components necessary for you to live a brilliant, exemplary life. And these people, because of their own insecurities, because of the parts of them that they don't want to acknowledge, that they nurse and they cuddle, and it will always keep them down, you broke free. And they want you right with them so they can feel comfortable in that. Don't give them permission. You have the final say. Don't regress. You might even to yourself hear an old song and think of something with those same old people who are trying to pull you back and laugh. It might have been funny. You might giggle. But they want you to giggle with them, so that can be a hook. They reminisce about something. They get nostalgic about something. And they feed you this rope. And you keep pulling on it. And in actuality, it's a noose around your neck. You don't want that. That's not what you're in this life for. Once you shook that thing off, that way of living, those people that were around you that are coming around now because they want to suck your energy down like leeches. And let's not even mention the narcissistic entities who thought that you were done, who thought that everything that you did is going to be dead. They predict doom and gloom and death over your endeavors. And when they see it coming up, they realize that they didn't do a good enough job. So they will now try to use anything, even tragedy, they will use. See, they'll buzz around you, depending on their proximity to you. They'll buzz around you like a fly, like a mosquito, planning the right time to attack and to bite. They'll take their time, like that little girl in the street jumping double dutch. She's rocking back and forth, timing the ropes, timing the perfect time to jump in and do what she does. This is how these entities do. And their goal is to finish the job that they thought they did, but they didn't. A visual for me that I always loved, and I know that you've probably seen a version of this picture, of this photo, because it's a universal concept, is a close-up of a sidewalk in a dirty neighborhood, dirty sidewalk, and the cracks between the sidewalk, there's a small rose or a plant growing up beautiful from between the cracks of that sidewalk in that dirty neighborhood. You see, that no matter what your circumstances are, no matter where people put you, you still have it in you to manifest the beauty and the majesty that you were destined to have. It's really a battle out here. And the more you stay connected to yourself, like I always say, meditate, be still, have quiet time, get to know yourself, get to be your best friend. Why can't you be your best friend? Of course you have a spouse and you want to have that relationship where you're each other's best friends, but you can also be your own best friend. That when you go out, you can enjoy yourself. You have your own inside jokes. You take yourself out sometimes. Like I said, there's an old article, and I put it up before, and I think it is on this platform of LANCESCURV. When was the last time you took yourself out on a date? And we don't think that way usually. So how many times have you done something by yourself, not thinking this way about taking yourself out on a date, but you had to take care of some business and you got done early. And so you have extra time before you go home or go to the next task. And you say, hey, I always see that restaurant over there. Let me go over there and check it out. So you go over to the restaurant and you look at the menu. You say, man, this food looks pretty good. You grab a seat. You sit down. You hear some music over the sound system, one of your favorite songs. You have a window seat and you're looking out at the crowd walking by. And you notice how it looks to be a joyous day. People are giggling, laughing. Kids are playing with each other. And you eat the food and you realize how tense you were and you start to relax and you say, hey, this is good. Not just the food, but the fact that I'm alive and I'm feeling hopeful. So you're enjoying the food, but then you realize you're enjoying the time that you have with yourself. And oftentimes when you have these entities that want to pull you down, they don't want you to enjoy your own company. They want you to need them. They want you to need them for validation. They want you to need them for attention. So when you give yourself this attention, when you thoroughly enjoy being with yourself, nobody can affect you that way. That's something that I learned from really young. I was a very self-sufficient child. I had lots of friends. I had fewer close friends. But when it came time for me to spend time to myself, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I used to be in my room, playing the TV or the radio or playing records. Loved the music from back then. And I would lay out on the floor. I had a nice shaggy rug. And I would start sketching and drawing and hours would go by. But at the same time, if somebody knocked my door from the neighborhood and wanted me to come out and play, I would do that. I had fun, but coming home wasn't depressing to me. I was never afraid to walk alone. I had some good friends. We would go out to Manhattan. This is in New York City. We'd go out and walk around in Manhattan, go to Greenwich Village, go around Times Square, see the freaks up there, the craziness up there, even other parts of the city. But lots of times, and most of the time, I'd go by myself because I enjoyed my own company and I welcomed my other friends to come with me. But I'm known for beating down the pavement and getting to know that city so well. And some friends of mine are like, man, you know Manhattan so well. Because in New York City back in the day, we had young men, young women who never really ventured out. They stayed in the neighborhood, went to school, came home, didn't do anything different. I was always up and down. I was always around and about. Good close friend of mine told me, remember years ago when you'd hang out at my house and you might leave at 11 or 11:30, but you'd go in a different direction other than the direction of your house. I said, Lance, where are you going? So I'm going to Manhattan right now because I want to pick up the latest magazines. See, we didn't have the internet back then. I wanted to get the bodybuilding magazines, the boxing magazines, the interior decoration magazines. I had a wide, varied, not just sports, but different magazines in New York City and Manhattan. The newsstands, they had so many magazines in different languages, different interests. That was like candy to me. So here I am hopping on the train at night, 11:30 at night, to ride for an hour or more to get to Times Square to buy 10, 15 magazines and come back home with them. Read one, coming home, stack them up. The next day I stay home, I read and just read and read and read. I love that. These are the things that we must do. I'm not saying you have to read. I would advise that you do, but find something of your own that even when others come around, it's almost like they're interrupting your joy, something that you love to do, something that you don't need anybody else to do with you. Find your happy place. It'll make you a happier person. It'll make you a better person. And when you have those things, they anchor you in your present joy, in your new life, higher and above than what you were before, where these other entities want to come around and pull you down and pull you back into old habits so they can feel good about themselves, or not necessarily good. They'll feel less bad because you're right on back. It's an insult to them when you grow. In other words, to put it into words, how dare you think you can go higher? You're one of us. You can't do that. I'm going to make sure that you come back. You know you want to come back. You know you want this. And it sounds like after a relationship breakup too, right? I mean, where you were really with each other. You know you want this. See, you can have that old mate that in the beginning, the way you were at the stage of growth that you were in, they seem to be the perfect person until, and nobody's perfect, but fitting like a lock and key. And then after a while, their ways come out. But there's still good things about them that hold you. And sometimes, and oftentimes, this is how abuse happens. There's something about the person that attracted you, but now the evil face comes out more and more, the abuse, and you find a way to break free. This is when they come back and they show you more of what attracted you to lure you back in, to let you know and even tell you, I've changed. The good side of me, I know you love. You know you want this. And if you're foolish, you might even consider it. Like a person who's determined to go to the gym and eat right and take care of their bodies around friends that don't even take care of themselves. And come on, man, you've been going to the gym 7 days a week. Go on and take a piece of this cake. And they'll put it in your face. And it's a victory to them to see you take that bite. Isn't that something? To pull you back and knock you off of your determined trajectory of discipline, because it's taking you higher. And they won't support you when you get to where you're going. So why are you coming around now? You're coming around now because you want to tear me down or bring me back. And you'll do it nicely. They don't come at you in an evil way, an angry way. They seduce you. They do you favors. They make it so pleasant. And in a sick way, they make your return to their company feel so good. Until they get you where they want you. And then sometimes and oftentimes they will torture you for the unfulfilled talents that they know you have. Oh, you could have been a great writer. Oh, you missed your calling. You could have been a great artist. You could have really made it. What are they really saying? That you didn't do nothing with yourself. That's to make you feel bad. And when they tell you stuff like this, if you are foolish enough to court the attention of these entities, you let them know. You don't have to explain to them, but let them know. Oh, it's funny you'd bring that up. I'm working on that right now. I could have. I'm still alive. That's going to happen. Watch how quickly they shut up. Because you have hope. And they want to waste your time with everything else other than making you better, a better version of yourself. See, I want to be around people who are actively trying to uplift themselves and make themselves better. No matter what level you find yourself on, you can always get to the next level. But some people get to a certain level, fine. If they want to sit there and not try anymore, it's not for me to say you have to always go higher. But don't stop me from doing what I need to do. I can respect you and love you, and it doesn't mean I'm going to abandon you. If you're content where you are, fine. I'll love you from a distance if I have to. Only if you start trying to bring me down. Just because you're content doesn't mean that I'm content. This is why social media is such a strange place. We have so many people crawling up on other people's pages, crawling up on other people's websites and peeping and looking and then going back to the next person. Oh, did you see? They were standing in front of their garage and I think I see a new car behind them and that Mercedes Benz and another one. Yeah, I thought it was their family's car or their brother's car. I think they bought a new car. So what? You know how many cars I've owned in my life? Trucks, pickup trucks, subcompacts, sedans, vans. I love vans. I gotta get another van. Right now, I don't even have a vehicle. Do I feel less than? No, because I love my company. I love being close to the people. I'm going to get one very soon. But no matter where you find me, no matter where life places me, I'm like that rose. I'm like that beautiful little sapling, that plant that's growing up between the cracks of a dirty neighborhood. Now, I'm not in a dirty neighborhood. I'm in a very beautiful place that brings me much peace and sure lets me sleep good at night. And I have a lot of privacy. That brings joy to my heart. Maybe for you it's something else. But I was speaking to a gentleman the other night, doing business over the phone, and he was saying to himself, because he's still in New York City, he was saying it doesn't make any sense to him anymore. Getting up, running to the job, punching in, being in a job where there's so many weird entities that are trying to get into your business and trying to put you down to the supervisor so you don't get the promotion, and you know you're making the same money but they're trying to flex on you, and he said, I don't need this. Then you get out of there, you try to rush home, you know, you got things to do at home, your weekends are there, you know. He's like, I'm tired of this rat race. And he asked me about my life right now. And I said, I actively had to get out of that, even if I had less. But in actuality, the intangibles let me know that I have so much more. And what protects me from the assaults on my peace is that I've moved so far away out of the country, nobody's ringing my bell. And I have a wall around the whole property. Nobody's walking up to the door. Call me. But I don't know people from back in the day out here. And there's not many people around here that I really associate with. When I go into town, yes. But I'm not going to bother anybody and push myself upon them, especially if they don't want to be bothered with me. So that's the way that brings me the most joy, because not only am I an extrovert, I'm also an introvert. In isolation, for one who is a creative person, is heaven on earth. I'm free to create, to talk, to podcast, to draw, to write, to eat the food that I want. And when I want to go downtown, into the town, I do so, and I observe. And every time I go down, I learn a lesson in human nature by observing people. My sensitivity is so high to what's around me that after a while being around the crowds, it gets to a saturation point where I said, okay, I've had enough. Let me go back home. And that's a beautiful thing. And just like I always say before, home, home, home sounds like womb, 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 W-O-M-B, womb, your mother's womb. It fed you, it protected you, it nourished you. And you heard that heartbeat. That was so reassuring. You knew you were in a safe place. And this is why anybody can have a house, but can they have a home? And I'm so happy to say at this point in my life, I have a home. Whether it's big or small or whatever, you all know the deal. But it's a home. And that's the pleasant ache, and I say it that way, that I had growing up in the home, which was a house that I grew up in. From young, I understood the importance of home, and I would be there, either doing my homework or lifting weights, the barbells that I had, drawing a picture, or just listening to music. And there would be an ache, not a painful ache, an ache of joy in my heart, because I realized I love home. I can be myself at home. Nobody can attack me at home. No negative energies can permeate the boundaries of my home. And I have recreated that. And I thank my parents so much for providing that for me, to know what that is, because so many of us are searching for something and we don't really know exactly what it is. But I know what I wanted to create, and I have it now. And in actuality, it's not just a physical house. It's the manifestation of what's inside of me, put on the external. Because we are human beings in a physical body, and there is a physical structure. But it's beautiful to me, and I'm thriving. And that, I won't say excess, but that overabundance of joy that I have, that's why I can share it more so now in what I do speaking online. Whether I get 2 hits on a podcast or 100, it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. I'm really not getting paid much. I really don't care about the pay. I can do other things to get paid. But I am in high hog heaven. When you're doing what it is that you're supposed to do, at that particular point in your life, there's a divine alignment, and a pleasant ache will hit your heart. And the joy will be something that no person who knew you before you got to that point of joy, can take away from you. It's permanently embedded in you. They will try to disrupt or bring you their chaos, but that's for them to work out. They have their life lessons to go through. They have their challenges. They have their road and mountains to climb. But once you get there, you wish them well, but you don't invite that stuff in your life anymore. And anything that tries to permeate that protective wall of your peace of mind, you must banish it immediately as soon as you sniff it. And this is what many of them don't understand. They're coming at you in a masked way, masking their intentions of wanting to suck your energy down. They may have a need for attention, And they're going to hold on to you, and you're going to give them your time and attention, although they know you have other things to do. It doesn't work that way. They're bringing their little toxicities to you. They're using you to fill their voids that really, it's like trying to fill a bucket that has several holes in it. You'll never fill that bucket up with water. They are the ones that have to do their own homework. You can't do their homework for them. No. And when they're not willing to do so, but they're coming around you, it's not just a monetary thing, but they'll try to suck you down, nickel and dime you for your own money. Just because. If you're in need and we're good, I'm going to help you. But don't just grab your time, grab your energy, grab your attention. Oh, I need this, I need that, whatever. What is this all about? I'm trying to fly and you're hanging onto my feet, pulling me down while I'm flapping like a bird. And here I am on the ground with you, flapping while you hold on to me. Bye-bye. Block. You got to get more and more relentless to defend your peace. And again, once again, it comes down to the same thing. Protect your peace at all times. That's the bottom line. Protect your peace at all times. Protect your resources. Resources is not just money. No, it's not just money. It's your emotions. It's your spiritual life. It's your mental. Again, this is one thing I preach if I'm preaching about anything else. It's very healthy to feel boredom. To be bored in this world is a luxury. And lots of times we do it to ourselves. We sit down, and while there's always something to do, we may sit down for a moment and not have anything directly on our mind. That's good. You're letting your mind and your being breathe. When you can say that you feel bored, that's your mind letting you know we're cleansing ourselves right now. On a physical level, that's how it happens. The same way. Now, I can't tell you the exact times, but we live in natural bodies and we have a certain rhythm. And when it's time for us to rest, which in the modern day, we're way off. And this is why we're not living as joyous and as healthy as we possibly can. You're supposed to be in the bed. Maybe not the bed, but you're supposed to be asleep. When that sun goes down, it's time to shut it down. When it's time to get up, with the sun, it's time to get up. Now, I'm not trying to teach a science lesson here because we're going to wrap this down soon, but I want to just tell you this part, what I know. I was reading a National Geographic magazine several years ago, and it was very interesting, and I still have it somewhere around here. And when I do, I'm going to do something on that and just share some knowledge. But if you get to bed by, let's just say 7:30, 8 o'clock, let's say no later than 8 o'clock. Let's just say 7:30, you're resting and you're about to doze off, which that in itself is tough to do when you're living in a big city or just a city. That's 24 hours. And 7:30 in the bed, about to doze off and sleep when there's noise and ambulances and gunshots and people and music and your mind is wound up. Some people can't get to bed till 1:30. But if you get into bed by that time, when 8 o'clock comes, and I'm saying this in a broad way, just to give you the concept. When 8 o'clock comes, in your body, your organs start to regenerate and cleanse. And it has to happen at these certain times. I'm not saying 8 o'clock on the button, your liver begins to cleanse and regenerate. And at 9 o'clock, it's your heart, and 10 o'clock, it's your brain. But there is a set schedule with every human being. Not down to the minute, but you have to be in a certain level of rest and slumber. And this is why REM sleep is so important. This is why now I feel so rejuvenated sleeping up here in the mountains, man, with this mountain air. And all these trees around me, all this oxygen, and the sunlight. Oh my God. Look, I wish I knew about this years ago. I'd trade off a lot of that time to come out here or somewhere similar. But by the time 3 and 4 o'clock come, 5 o'clock or 4:30, everything's done. But we don't have a chance in the modern world when we stay up all night, which I've been guilty of. And there have been people who have tried to purposely keep me up all night. I do a 6 or 7 hour show, and here they come calling me up. You gonna go live again? What are you talking about? Now, with those entities banished out of my life, I can live more balanced. No, I don't want to see them. No, I don't want to be around them people no more. No, I'm free. And I love it. You wake up. Even now, I listen to my body. I just don't get up and wolf down plates of food. Sometimes I don't even feel to eat until lunchtime. You know? Sometimes I have something early and sign off early and go to sleep and let my body regenerate without having food on my stomach that's going to take all of the blood that's needed to clear out my brain and my heart and my kidneys and my liver. And you feel different after a while. Let's think about the spiritual and the mental. We have to rest ourselves on a spiritual level. We might be going through attacks and battles, right? We have to be still to identify these things and have a place where we feel protected. It may not be a physical place when it comes on a spiritual level, but your faith, your knowledge of what your spiritual life is, what you know is right for you. And I'm not talking about religion. The mental, when you're mentally overloaded with requests from people that just keep asking and asking and asking and taking up your time, and they call you up and out of nowhere, not asking what you are doing, but they'll stay on the phone or want to stay on the phone for 2 or 3 hours. Like you're an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Don't let people do that to you with your time. You wake up and you command what you need to do righteously from within. But you give them permission. Even the ones who want to bring you back to the old places, you got to give them permission to come back into your life. And these other people will grab as much as they can until you wisen up and stop it. And by then they're on to somebody else. That's how they do. It's amazing when you learn how to protect your energy and realize that when you go higher, you will get these people who come back into your life to pull you back down. Don't give them permission. Keep it moving. Claim to be busy. When they start talking about the past, start talking about things in the present that you'd like to do without telling them your business. Speak about concepts. What do you think about this? And what do you think about that? You know, I was reading this article. They don't want to hear that. They want to bring you back to the place where you were an alcoholic, you were a crackhead, you're a sex addict, you're a gossip monger. You had time to do nothing with them. That's why they felt so good with you. And you wouldn't dare break those chains because they had a hold and a grip on you. They don't have that grip on you anymore. They can't stop it. If a thick concrete sidewalk in the hood can't stop a plant from growing up between the cracks, keep that visual and that image in your head, because that's reality. Big time. I'm going to wrap it down and just say I appreciate you coming here every day. Yesterday I did one. I like to do 2 a day, but everything got clogged up with the work that I've been doing here. And I just want to say how much I appreciate you. And I'm on to the next one. LANCESCURV out. Much love. Peace.